This video is going to go through the Indian Ocean tsunami of 2004. It will answer the 6 following questions. What is a tsunami? What are the key details about the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami? How and why did this Indian Ocean tsunami occur? What were the effects of the tsunami? Why were the effects so serious? And what were the immediate and long-term responses to the tsunami? Presented here are some images found from a Google search on the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. You can see people on the beach with the waves coming in. Over here you can see the height that the wave got up to as people ran inland away, and you can, in the bottom picture, you can see people just kind of stood here, kind of not knowing what's going to happen and just kind of standing there in disbelief. So what is a tsunami? A tsunami is a series of low, fast and long ocean waves that is caused by the displacement of a large body of water. The waves extend from the ocean floor to the surface. The sudden displacement often occurs over a large area, and the waves move out in all directions at high speeds, up to 500 miles per hour. The key details about this case study 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami are as follows. The tsunami struck on the 26th of December 2004, so Boxing Day. It was caused by an underwater earthquake which measured 9.1 on the Richter scale. This is a large earthquake. The earthquake occurred at a destructive plate margin. This is where two plates collide and one is subducted beneath the other. In this case, the two plates involved were the Indo-Australian plate, which was oceanic crust, and the Eurasian plate, which was continental crust. The epicenter was 160 kilometers offshore in the Indian Ocean. Remember, the epicenter is the point on the surface where the effects of the earthquake are felt. Now we're going to go through step by step how the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami occurred. The diagram on the right hand side gives you a good visual representation of the plate action. So what happened was, two tectonic plates moved towards each other. One tectonic plate was the Indo-Australian plate, which was oceanic, and the second tectonic plate involved was the continental Eurasian plate. The heavier oceanic Indo-Australian plate was subducted beneath the lighter continental plate of the Eurasian plate. As the Indo-Australian plate was subducted beneath the Eurasian continental plate, friction built up, where I've just marked on the diagram. This friction led to pressure and the plates got stuck. As the tension and friction was overcome, the Indo-Australian plate snapped upwards and an underwater earthquake of 9.1 on the Richter scale happened. The power of this earthquake displaced the volume of water upwards, and the sea bulged upwards, creating a huge swell of water. This swell, or uprising of water, spread out and travelled across the ocean very quickly and then rose up as it got near to the coast. This diagram gives you a cross-section view of what happened at the plates. So number 1, two plates got stuck and tension built up. Number 2, an earthquake happened. As the tension broke, one edge of the plate snapped upwards, pushing the water above it upwards. What goes up must come down, and as the water came down, it spread out sideways and raced across the ocean, and then as it got near to the coast, it stacked up on top of itself and got higher in height as it came into land. The effects of the Indian Ocean tsunami can be categorized into social, economic and environmental. This tsunami affected 14 different countries. It occurred in the Indian Ocean, and the waves spread out from their epicenter along the coast of Sumatra and travelled across the ocean. The diagram shows you in red the country's death toll, and in yellow the number of houses damaged or destroyed. There were lots of effects from this Indian Ocean tsunami. It was very widespread. I have given you a number of points to learn on the bottom of this page. The purple are social impacts, the orange are economic impacts, and the green are environmental impacts. So some headline figures about this tsunami and its impacts are 220,000 people approximately were killed. 2 million people lost their homes, and over 500,000 houses were destroyed. Infrastructure, so roads, rail, telecommunications, were all destroyed, meaning it was going to take a lot of money to get back up and running and become the tourist centres that these areas were. There was massive economic damage to tourism industry because the hotels were destroyed, but also fishing industry was disrupted. The fishermen's ships were destroyed. Farmland was ruined by salt. So salt makes a crust on the soil, and as a result plants can't grow. Environmental impacts include the fact that the salt from the seawater reduced the plant's ability to grow in many areas. Mangroves, coral reefs, forests and sand dunes, all important ecosystems providing habitats for animals, were destroyed by the waves. When writing about the effects of the Indian Ocean tsunami, try to categorise the effects into these three groupings: social, economic and environmental. Why were the effects of the tsunami so serious? 4 reasons can be provided to answer this question. The first reason is that the earthquake was one of the most powerful ever recorded. Therefore, it was felt in countries up to 1,300 miles away, for example India. And this also caused waves to reach heights of 15 metres high. Many countries in the area that were affected by the tsunami were less developed countries. This means that technology was not readily available for early warning prediction, and the buildings that were hit were poorly constructed and easily damaged. Many of the areas affected were densely populated, meaning that there were lots of people per square kilometre. This means that there were lots of people in the places affected, and as a result, the more people there were, the more numbers of deaths and injuries. The disaster also occurred during the main tourist season for visitors from Europe. The people had gone on holiday to this area to get some winter sun. As a result, there were many more people in this area at this time of year than there normally would be, and this made it difficult to account for everyone, because the people that were injured and who died from the disaster did not actually live in the countries that were there. They were just visiting, so there was no record of who was there or not. It's made it very difficult to identify the bodies and to actually find people in the aftermath of the disaster. As with all tectonic events that we have studied, you need to be aware of the immediate and long-term responses to the tectonic event. Immediate and short-term responses are defined as those that take place within hours and weeks of the tectonic event. So in the case of the 2004 tsunami, bodies had to be burned quickly so that diseases did not spread and mass graves were built. International responses, so this is from governments, charities, individuals and businesses, raised $14 billion, which was the world's biggest ever emergency release effort. Foreign countries sent ships, planes, soldiers and teams of specialists to help rescue people, distribute food and water and to begin clearing up. The long-term responses to this tsunami event were that the Disasters Emergency Committee has spent £40 million on rebuilding projects in the area. So rebuilding skills, rebuilding businesses, rebuilding housing, hospitals, etc. An Indian Ocean tsunami warning has been built and has become operational, so been in use, since 2006. Countries have also developed disaster management plans so that if the event was to happen again, they would have more knowledge of what to do to reduce the loss of lives. Volunteers in certain countries have been trained so that local people know what to do if a tsunami happens again, and they can provide warning and advice to other people too. So that ends this presentation, and you now have the knowledge to answer the following 6 questions. What is a tsunami? What are the key facts and details about the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami? How and why did this tsunami occur? What were the effects and how do we categorise these effects into social, economic and environmental? Why were the effects so serious? And what were the immediate and long-term responses to the tsunami? These are the key aspects that you need to know for this case study for your GCSE exam. I'm just going to finish by showing you this image that came from a newspaper, just showing you about technology and how a lack of it kind of went to the heart of why this disaster was not managed effectively. So on the left of this image we have got lots of satellites all up in the sky and on the ground, and we've got the statement, technology used to beam horrific live images of South Asian tsunami into our living rooms. So everyone could see what was going on, and we had real-time updates of the situations, and we saw the real peril and the disaster that unfolded. On the right hand side of the image we have nothing, because there was no technology used to detect the South Asian tsunami. The Pacific Ocean has tsunami warning detection equipment. The Indian Ocean at this time did not. 2006 we saw the Indian Ocean tsunami warning system become operational. The tsunami happened in 2004, there was no warning. So it's just interesting to see that we had all this technology to kind of see it and see what was going on and recognise it and kind of be there with them as to what was going on, but actually there was no technology made available or in use to help give them warning that the tsunami was on its way. That completes this presentation.